Welcome back, collectors, to Comic Statues Unleashed. Statue aficionados spend a great deal of time discussing value, rarity, and price, but every series collection eventually develops something else: the Untouchables, pieces that evolve beyond purchase decisions and become permanent residents. This piece stays, not because it is the most expensive, but because its presence, timing, and meaning aligned perfectly. Some statues impress, others imprint. They attach. They become part of a collector's identity. So today, I want to explore the statues in my collection that have earned permanent tenure and why they will never leave. These aren't just statues I would never sell. They're statues that became part of the architecture of my life. Now, let's get into it.
I have a very fulfilling life.
This villain stays for a reason that has nothing to do with sculpt or paint. That's right, it's the infamous Thanos. Specifically, Thanos on Throne. This is where everything started. Before the collection, before the shelves, before the madness. There was a single unboxing video. A moment where something quietly clicked. It slipped through my hands more than once. Opportunities appeared and vanished. Years actually passed, which somehow made owning it feel less like a purchase and more like a destiny finally catching up. Thanos represents inevitability, scale, presence on a mythic level, but permanence does not always emerge from grandeur. Sometimes it emerges from recognition. Every serious collector eventually has a character that stops being fandom and starts becoming a reflection.
Oh, but the resemblance is striking. Look at the thin cheekbones.
For me, that was always Hulk. Strength, rage, persistence, and resilience. Not just a character, a psychological archetype. The Hulk was never just a character I admired. He was a reflection, an unstoppable being of pure focus and commitment, out of control, but always doing good. My LBS Hulk is a non-starter in this conversation. Superman, however, was something very different. Not reflection, but aspiration. Some statues represent admiration, others represent aspiration. Superman was never just a character I liked. He represented a standard. Discipline, integrity, responsibility, not fantasy. Superman embodies the person we all strive to become. I could never imagine having a collection without a prominent representation of the son of Krypton front and center. But permanence can also form through something far more intimate. Not who we model ourselves after, but who chooses to surprise us. The Flash premium format by Sideshow Collectibles is a piece that stays for reasons no market logic could ever touch. Because this wasn't chosen by me, it was chosen for me. There's something different about statues that arrive as surprises. They don't just occupy space, they carry memory. One unexpected gift is memorable, but when a collection begins to carry the fingerprints of someone who understands you. This was a wonderful gift from my wife when it was first released. Actually, it was one of my first statues altogether. These pieces evolve into something else entirely. Collectors always talk about rarity, but the rarest pieces are often emotional and unexpected. Much like the Flash, this Green Lantern was a random surprise gift while out visiting at a local comic book store, totally out of the blue. And then there are chapters that redefine the collection's visual language entirely. The complete death metal line by Prime One Studios. These pieces did not enter the collection quietly. I'm still rounding up the last few of them, but they arrived as a tonal shift, an aesthetic disruption. Death metal is not subtle design. It is excess and aggression. Operatic darkness rendered in sculptural form. Individually, they are striking, no doubt. Together, though, they become something far more permanent. Not merely statues, but atmosphere. Some collectibles decorate a room. Death metal alters it. And yet, even with a collection shaped by mythology, symbolism, and spectacle, permanence can still emerge from something wonderfully unexpected. Absurdity. Not every untouchable statue is rooted in awe. Some earn permanence through something far, far more powerful. Joy. Modok didn't impress me. He ambushed me.
They called me Big Head.
One day, that big, beautiful, womb-wrecking head of yours is going to change the world.
Some pieces dominate visually, others dominate emotionally. This one won through laughter. Modok is chaos, absurdity, a statue that refuses to be taken seriously.
Time to change the world by bringing it to its knees. Attack!
Juggernaut, on the other hand, offers no such invitation. This piece here stays because it crossed the line few statues ever do. I didn't just acquire this one, I helped to build it.
I'm gonna rip you in half now.
That is such a Juggernaut thing to say.
Every brushstroke, every decision, every imperfection, this piece isn't owned, it's authored. Juggernaut is momentum, relentless forward motion. But there exists another kind of permanence. Not motion, not force, but finality. The Doomsday maquette by Sideshow Collectibles was not a purchase. It was an entire campaign. This one required waiting, saving, resisting impulse. Patience became part of the piece itself. Doomsday was never designed to charm or inspire. He exists as inevitability given form. And perhaps that is the thread connecting every untouchable I've mentioned. This one will stay in the collection forever, as he was my first and most expensive piece at the time.
Onlookers often assume attachment is born from rarity or price, but permanence rarely follows economics. It follows timing, where you stood in life when the piece arrived, what it represented, what it anchored. Some statues do something unusual. They alter how you, or even the room, feel. Not just when viewed, but simply when present. They imprint. In every collection, there are pieces that become immune to regret, not because they were flawless acquisitions, but because their presence permanently justified their existence. Thank you for spending this time with me, and until we meet again, keep your passion for collecting alive and your love for superheroes soaring.